Obvious first question, your injury, how are you doing? How are things?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Obviously Saturday I was obviously in a lot of pain and felt something I'd never really felt before. I've not had a muscle injury before in my career, and I felt like someone kind of threw a stone at the back of my leg. So I kind of looked around, and which is a bit worrying, to be honest. But I couldn't really walk or nothing the last couple of days, but I'm back to walking normal, which is really positive for me. Because I thought it'd be a long time. If I'm being honest, I don't know what sort of. We don't know whether we've done some testing today on the calf, and it feels so it's strong. So it could be something not too serious. There's something really serious. We don't know. It's just a matter of waiting. So it's just fingers crossed time. But I certainly feel a lot better about it today than I did the last couple of days, if I'm being honest with you. But everything's just reliant on a scan now, and it's out of my hands really. So I'm just praying. If there's any way I can play, I'm playing. Whether it doesn't matter. I want to play. It's a tough time, obviously, at the minute when it's out of your hands.
You've half answered the question there. From the doubt in your mind, is there a fear that you could be done for the season? Is that kind of worst case scenario?
I don't want to sort of speculate, but obviously, Saturday and Sunday, if I'm being honest, I thought it was tough, because I thought that was me, possibly season over. So I mean, today I was limping really bad yesterday, and that I wasn't able to do a lot. And today I kind of limped in, and I'm walking now fully. So I've always sort of recovered well when I've had knocks and that. So I'm hopeful that my body's starting to respond to what's going on to it now, and it's starting to sort of get into the healing process, as I say, and hopefully it's nothing too bad.
Let's go to Saturday. How did you assess what went wrong against Hornchurch?
Yeah, I think, listen, it's disappointing. You're in the semi-final of a cup, and I'll put Wembley and all aside. I think there's some aspects of the game that we played well first half an hour, and I mean, really, if we're playing at home and scoring 3 goals, it's against anybody. You should be coming away with a win, and no disrespect to Honcho, certainly. And I think from our point of view, certainly the goals are they're disappointing, and type of stuff we won't get away with at the level we're playing at against better opposition going forward. We'll be crucified, and obviously Saturday to. If you score 3 at home and you go to penalties, you don't deserve to win. If we're being honest with you, it's I'm not being brutal in my assessment. I think I'm just being honest, and it was disappointing for us really. But I think from the other side of it, there's some ways going forward that we looked good on the eye, and it was so there's loads to build on, but you can't get away with the fact that it was a big disappointment and an opportunity missed.
Just touch on the penalty shootout. Listening to Charlie Slater's commentary, it appeared something was said on the touchline, and then you had to play peacemaker listening to that bit of commentary. Do you have a view on what actually happened there?
I don't, not make. There's nothing really to make out of it, just being told, just a bit of. I don't want to take the light off Honchurch. They deserve all the credit. It was a massive achievement, but I don't know what happened on, if there was stuff on the sideline, but certainly on the pitch, whatever happened stays. But I think there was just one of their players was a bit chirpy towards myself being injured. It was a bit. It is what it is, and I think obviously one of our members of staff had heard it, and he kind of responded when one of the players stepped up. Listen, it is what it is. I mean, I think if we're breaking it down and we're being honest about it, on Saturday there could have been 10,000 fans there if it was non-COVID, being a semi-final cup, and there would have been a lot worse things screamed and shouted at their players taking penalties, than one of our staff making a noise, So it is what it is. I'm not gonna. You don't go into too much, Full credit to Honchurch. They got that win and they're into a final. It's a massive achievement for them and deserve it. So I'm not gonna take any. There's no point in taking any of the gloss off what they've done. It was just, I think it was a nothing really that happened, and what I mean, there was nothing aggressive or anything like that happened. It was just making something out of nothing really, if we're being honest, as I say, because if there had been fans in the ground, there would have been thousands of fans and a lot worse things being said, especially walking down to that cop end.
What about the first few days under the new manager? How's that been?
Yeah, as I say, it's always different when a new manager comes in, and he's obviously only had worked with us on the Friday, and you just have to come in and get on with it. He's obviously trying to get his ways across, and as quick as possible. Straight away. As I say, I went down and watched training and that today, and just straight working on probably what we can get better at from Saturday, which is the way forward, and keep trying to improve. I think he sees the opportunity here to get us promoted. We're in a great position, and certainly nothing's changed. From the start of the season, we want to get promoted as a group, and I'm sure the manager coming in now and his staff, they see a great opportunity, a good squad of players to work with, and there's no reason why we can't drive on. And if anything, days like Saturday is disappointing, and that is they were for everybody. It's days like that should drive you on, and what's at stake now, and we got to keep building. The aim at the start of the season was to get promoted, and we wanted to win that cup the further we got in it, and it was a disappointing day, but I think the aim, nothing's changed. The sole focus is trying to get promoted.
As a player, I guess you have to be really adaptable and really quickly, because Neil Ardley would have had one way of playing and one way of training, and suddenly, like a click of a finger, you've suddenly got a different way now. How easy or hard is it to be so adaptable so quickly as a player?
You just have to adapt. That's just it. If you're caught waiting around and dwelling on the past, you'll be left behind. It's as simple as that. Unfortunately, in this business that we're in, it happens all the time, and it's not nice. And people build up relationships. You get close to people. Some people, managers go to, gives them a lift again, and there's all different feelings. Personally, I'd always had a great relationship with most of my managers, because I always just got on with it there with my boss, and sometimes you agree with their decisions, sometimes you disagree, but it's never personal. It's a really, as a player, at the end of the day, it's down to you, what you do from Monday to Friday. That's how a manager more than 99% of the time picks a team. So I think you've just got to look at yourself as a professional athlete and do the best as you can all the time. It's managers come in and they put their stamp and philosophy on things, and you either work with them and go their way, or you get left behind, and that's as simple as that. Really, it's as football waits for nobody, because there's always somebody there to take the opportunity that you've given up.
Just finally, you touched on there about you've always had good relationships with managers and coaches. I wonder how important as a footballer that is, because of course there's bad relationships between some players and some managers, but from your point of view, how important is fostering that relationship to make sure it's good for both of you?
Of course. Listen, you can. I think you build relationships with, especially with managers, and it's by how you go about your work ethic every day, and how you do things, that managers will take a sort of a liking to you and respect you and think, yeah, he'll do for me. It's really as simple as that, But if you're probably that person that's turning in late every day, you're the last person in and you're the first person to leave, and you don't really train great and things like that, and it comes to Saturday and you're not really prepared, and you go out in the field and you score a hat-trick, for instance, the manager might think, all right, I'll give him a bit of a pass because he does the business for me on the Saturday. But if you do all them things and turn up on a Saturday and you're not doing the business, you'll be left behind, and rightly so. I think that's the side of things that probably fans don't really see. They see them couple of hours on a Saturday, and they judge people. But I suppose us as players and a management staff as well, you're watching people Monday to Friday, how about they go to their business, and that's where opportunities are probably gained.
Brilliant. Thanks for your time. Thank you so much.
Hi Michael, how you doing, mate? You okay?
Well, better than you by the looks of it, Lee, with that hair.
Every week this is.
Every week this is. That's you about the third player in a row who's had something to say about me, Barney.
Nobody said you look like your man out at Home Alone, did they?
Marv,
yeah, Marv from Home Alone, mate, yeah.
Michael, I just wanted, obviously it was the first time we've got to spoke to any of the players since everything that's happened last week. What was your reaction to Neil's departure?
Listen, obviously it was a shock, I'm not gonna, there's no point in beating, around the bush. It was obviously, you're shocked, when you kind of get the news. It was, and I think everybody kind of was. It wasn't something we were expecting, maybe it was one of them, but as I say, it's difficult, because as players you can't dwell on things. You just have to get on, and you kind of, and straight away there was a new manager come in, so you don't have time to sort of dwell on things. You know, it's difficult, like, but certainly from myself as being the captain of the team and that, you're disappointed, you know, because I think any player with any sort of professionalism or any accountability, they'll always look at themselves, and you know, I think it's especially being one of the senior players, you always look at yourself and thinking you've done more, or you know, you'll always have that bit of I think you'll always sort of self-analyse and think, bloody hell, you know, so it's disappointing, you know, and I think it's just disappointing, you know, when any manager, in all my career, any manager that's lost his job, you always feel a sense of you know, could you have done more, and you self-analyse, and it's just a tough one, isn't it, you know?
How was the news broken to the players, Michael? I mean, because you'd had the day off on the Wednesday, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't want to go. It is what it is, you know. I think we received some, you know, we received information that the manager had, you know, obviously lost his job, and it was disappointing, you know.
And obviously you had a good relationship with Neil as well, didn't you?
I think most of the players did, if I'm being honest with you. You know, I think he was a good person, you know, and it's you know, you try your best, and sometimes it's not good enough, and that's it. It's, as I say, it's never nice. As a player, you're always disappointed, you know, and I'm sure managers as well. I'm sure the new managers come in, and you know, if he's probably lost his job, I don't know if he's left. You always feel that sense of disappointment, you know. And your job, if you were to lose your job, I'm sure some of your colleagues would be delighted, and some of them would be unhappy, you know. I'm only messing with you, but no, it's one of them, you know. It's never nice to see anybody lose their job, if we're being honest, you know. And it's you're always, as I say, there's always a sense of responsibility as yourself, you know, looking at yourself and thinking, could you done more, you know.
And also, I've got to ask you about this as well. There was a story in the Portsmouth News, I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but the Portsmouth was sending out an SOS for you to go down to Fratton Park and rescue their promotion push. Well, was there anything in that, or was it just paper talk?
To be honest with you, I'm just like, for me personally, like, I'll be totally honest, you know, I'm totally focused here on trying to get the club promoted, you know. I'm not gonna, that was my sole aim, you know, when I signed back at the start of the season. It wasn't about, it was trying to help the club and, you know, push the club on, you know. I'd come here in difficult circumstances, and you know, we went down out of the league, and my thought all the time, as bad as things were, when all the stuff that had happened in the summer after we lost our league status, was, you know, helping the club get back to a better position and trying to leave it in a better place. And I still really feel we can, you know, I still feel we're now on track to do that, and that is my sole focus, you know.
Obviously, moving on, as captain, have you sort of pulled the rest of the lads together in the wake of what happened last week? And does that happen? I'm always intrigued to know.
I think, like, no, I haven't had to do that. As I say, you know, obviously last Wednesday we were off, and you come in Thursday, and you know, a new manager. It's you just have to get on board and try and, you know, impress the manager quick, and you know, everything's back open, and it's you know, there's opportunities now. You know, the manager's looking at the whole squad again, whereas maybe some people probably felt they were not in the plans or going forward, and it's kind of, I think a lot of players, you get into that selfish mode. You got to prove yourself all over again, and you know, hope the manager sees you as something that, you know, can make an impact in his team. So it's that's it. But you know, maybe after the weekend, I wouldn't say we had some words, but I think as a group, you're just letting each other know what the focus was at the start of the season was to get promoted, you know, and nothing's changed. And Saturday was a big disappointment when you get so close to a cup final, and you know, we didn't grasp the opportunity. But I think, being realistic, you know, if you give us one or the other, we'd been snapping your hands off to try and get promoted, you know. So we want to go one step better than we did last year, as I say, and we feel we've got a good enough squad and players to try and do that.
I mean, it's been an excellent season all round, really, because I mean, the run that you're on is, I think, 2 defeats out of 16, isn't it? You know, but where do you think, if there's anywhere that Notts can improve, where do you think it is?
I think, like, you know, if I'm being totally honest with you, you know, from the start of the season, I think in the 2 games, I think it's Halifax and Chesterfield that we lost. And we didn't perform well in them games. I think looking back, difficult. But I think any game outside of them, you know, I think we games we've lost this year we shouldn't have lost. You know, we've played well in games, not took opportunities, and then we kind of say smash and grab type of lost games, which is disappointment. You know, I really feel we could be in a lot stronger position with that. And again, obviously drawing games that you should be winning, but it's I certainly think we could be, you know, as a team a lot more clinical and, you know, taking opportunities. But it's confidence as well. You know, we just got to keep going. There's loads to build on. We've got loads of games to play, and as I say, I think as a team all round we need to start improving. And, you know, we last 2 away games when we've gone to Boreham Wood and Yeovil, you know, first half disappointing and going 2-0 down in them games, but then obviously on the other side we've shown that type of spirit and determination in second half, and the quality that we have, we can, you know, there are probably games you took a point at half time certainly, but, you know, looking back we probably could have gone and won them games as well, and we just got to be, I think our performance needs to be a lot better all round.
Lovely. Alright, Super Marv signing off.
Is that it?
Hi Michael.
Alright, Jake.
How you doing? You alright?
Not too bad.
Good stuff. Just a few quick follow-up ones from me, more Nathan. You said some like open and honest discussions were had after the game on Saturday. How important is it to have those discussions within the team and not let stuff to fester?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't think there was anything open and honest. There wasn't any big, you know, chats as a squad. There wasn't. It was just, you know, I think lads were disappointed, and, you know, it's a bit of, you know, going to penalties and things like that. It was disappointing, and I just think it was important that as a group we sort of recognised what we were set out to do. You know, obviously we would have loved to get to a cup final. I'm not getting away from that, and we came up short on the day, and that was disappointing. But I think it was certainly important to, you know, not dwell on it too much, and you can't, especially nowadays, we haven't got time to dwell. We've got Aldershot tomorrow, you're playing Saturday, Tuesday, Friday. You know, we can't dwell on that opportunity that the opportunity missed. We just got to grasp what's ahead of us. As I say, it's so important that we focus on this league now and try and pick up as many points as possible, that we're putting pressure on the top teams, and if we're not in them sort of the top spot, we're certainly making sure we're nailing down a playoff spot, and as high as we can to, you know, getting second or third spot, that we can get a home playoff semi-final and not have to play a quarter. I think you got to look at all the scenarios. So I just think, you know, being a senior player, sort of letting the lads know, you know, and we have a bit of a group chat just saying, look, we're all disappointed, but it's important to focus on the bigger picture, what we set out to do. That was really it. There's no big inquests, you know.
For sure, and you mentioned there, of course, about the games that are coming up. It's still coming up thick and fast for Notts County. There's no let up in the grueling schedule. I'm just interested to find out how you found that.
It is what it is, you know. It's I think you're seeing a lot of players with the schedule this year. It's difficult on squads and teams, and you just have to get on with it. And you know, hopefully, you know, we're starting to get some players back now as well. With Damien, looks like he's getting closer. Cal getting closer, you know, hopefully Richard Brindley as well. So hopefully we're getting some players that'll be big player for us, and they're only going to add quality to our squad, you know. So as I say, you just need to get on a run, a couple of good weeks in this league, and you'll be right near the top of the table, you know.
The new head coach has only been in for a few days, of course, but what have been your early impressions of him, and what's he been like around the club so far? Yeah,
listen, he's been great, you know. He's come in, he's, you know, getting to know everybody still, but just trying to get his methods across, and, you know, being down on the training field, up in the sort of classroom, learning what you want to do, what we can get better at. So as I say, he's only had a couple of days training, but so far so good. And he just, I think as players, it's going to be a lot of probably a lot more in the classroom stuff with the amount of games. You're not getting probably the manager to get out on the training pitch as much as everybody would have liked. So it's just about learning, you know, seeing what the manager wants now as players, and taking all the information in and what you can improve on. And I think it's important as players, you know, because it's as I say, it's only going to improve us as a team if everybody buys into what we're trying to do.